Project 44 is the official sponsor of the Innovation Theater at Edge 23. We thank Project 44 for their continued support of CSCMP.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. My name is Matt Gunzenhaeuser. I'm an enterprise account executive with Kaleris YMS. Very glad to be here today. Matter of fact, kicking off CSCMP 2023. Going to be a fantastic few days we're in front of here. Thank you again for attending. I'm going to speak just for a few minutes today about YMS and in particular, benchmarking yard optimization and enterprise approach. Few things I have here on the agenda, common mistakes, things to avoid, things you don't want to do. Key trends for enterprise brands of 2023. Then the digital yard advantage, where ROI is. ROI is probably the most important. Talk about a connected ecosystem, eliminating dark spots of the supply chain. And last but not least, 2024, the year of the yard. I really believe that to be the case, the year of the yard. So common mistakes, thinking visibility alone will solve all your problems. This is not the case. Yes, you have access to data, lots of data, but it all depends on what you do with it, right? Just having access to the data won't solve your problems. You need to do something with it, okay? Visibility alone is not enough. Something to keep in mind here, particular word, visibility. So typical mistakes. People, companies make mistakes sometimes. These are some of the things that we see. Data overload. I've already mentioned it, right? There's a lot of data out there, but what now? A lot of seeing, but not a lot of solving, right? Has to be execution for visibility data to be meaningful. Empower, engage your team to make use of that data that's available. They have access to it now, right? Empower them to utilize it. Another one is team inclusion. A comprehensive solution can be used by your entire team. Think about it. Yard operations, there's a lot of people on a site. You got people in the guardhouse, SRO, maintenance, yard jockeys, warehouse, etc. Include all of them. There's different components to a solution that are going to give you the visibility that you need for an efficient and productive yard operation. True ROI, right? One thing that's important, do not think short term, right? It probably goes without saying, but a YMS is an integral part of yard operation. Processes change over time, right? Yards grow in size, configurations change, people come and go. There's different strategic mindsets. Don't look for or implement a solution that meets your needs today, but think about what you're going to do, where you're going to grow into the future. Spend a moment talking about key trends for enterprise brands, right? Doing more than seeing problems, solving the problems. Coming back to these, managing dock door availability. You have information on shipments coming in, trailers coming in, containers, other assets. This advanced knowledge helps you plan accordingly for what is coming into the site, for what's coming into the operation. Automated truck moves, right? There are truck moves being made all the time. There's new loads coming in, moves that need to be made, moves that need to be changed, going from space to space, door to door, etc. Right? Have visibility in these load changes and initiate based on the changes. Managing trailer pools, something important to think about here. Utilize what you have access to. Utilize everything the right time with the right people. Lastly, fewer mistakes, a greener operation. Everybody wants to have a greener operation, right? It's important. Do more with less. Maybe you don't need as many resources, meaning you don't need as much equipment, don't need as much fuel to operate the equipment. Think about sustainability and going green. Managing the driver experience with flexibility. A few points are really important things to consider. Think about driver apps, contactless pre-check-in. Think about this. What if a driver is able to pre-check in to the site before their arrival, entering information about their trailer number, their load, things that they're bringing into the facility. Well, if they can do this in advance, once they get to the gate, there's a lot less work to do. Means there's a lot more gate velocity, getting equipment, getting trailers into the facility quicker. Let's take it a step further with kiosks, right? Contactless arrival at check-in. Kiosks are important. A lot of companies are thinking about things like this for a few reasons. Number one is some drivers simply don't like or they don't want to talk to people. Okay. They don't necessarily want to go to an SR or go to a guard check. Could be a lot of reasons for that. One of them may be a language barrier. They like to communicate their native language. Maybe not the case at the site. These kiosks are multilingual. Permanent RFID, contactless check-in, dedicated fleets, right? Most sites, a lot of sites have dedicated trailers, dedicated drivers coming into the site. What if you can create a fast pass for them? Meaning they go through a lane, this fast pass lane, contactless, don't even need to stop. An RFID reader, an RFID tag is read to automatically check in the load that's coming to the site. Again, increasing gate velocity. Next, man gates, right? Most sites have man gates. Traditional manual check-in. There's a lot of information that guard checks and guards need to collect, right? Information about the carrier, information about the load status, information about the trailer number. All that information still needs to be gathered, but if you think about it, are they gathering all the information that they need? Are they gathering in a spreadsheet today? Are they gathering on a piece of paper? A lot of things could happen. Having an automated system, a system to automatically collect all the data that they need for the site for check-in. What successful trends have we seen? And there's a lot of them. This is just a small portion of it. One thing to think about, I mentioned a moment ago, one source of truth. One source of truth. One software application that's gathering information. It could be all the check-in information. It could be all the detention to merge information, the dock door information, the load information, etc. One source of truth that's online that anybody within the organization can access. Integrated and connected campuses. Many companies have multiple sites. With integrated connected campuses, you have multiple campuses, multiple sites set up with data. Particularly from a corporate standpoint, companies want to gather information, different KPIs, different visibilities from all the sites. Have it on one common platform. An enterprise focus. We all have enterprises, right? Let's have an enterprise focus in this. Utilize the software, utilize the technology, utilize the access to information that we have from an enterprise standpoint. Flexibility, probably one of the most important things here with flexibility. Flexibility. Let the software adapt to your current workflow processes, not the other way around. You have current workflows that you set up, right? Different processes, different systems that you have. Let the software match that technology, not having software that makes you change what those processes are. So primary concerns met with success. A number of things here. Controlling costs. Everybody wants to control costs, right? Fleet operations, yard operations, warehouse operations, etc. Avoiding detention and demurrage charges. An interesting one here. I talk about detention and demurrage with companies all the time. I always ask them, how much do you spend in detention and demurrage? We spend a lot. Nobody really knows how much that is, but they say we spend a lot. Okay. Who within your organization knows? I don't really know. So they know they spend a lot, but they're not sure who's got the accountability. It's an ROI piece that we're going to talk about in just a moment. Adoption, utilization. Engage workers at the site. Make sure that you have adoption. Training is a big part of that, right? Because none of it makes a difference if there's not utilization. Offline and limited access to information. I mentioned this a moment ago. Typically, even Fortune 500 companies, right? They've got they got spreadsheets, they got pieces of paper, all this information collecting data. Well, it's on a piece of paper. Good luck being able to make sense of it at a later time. Use software that automatically collects this data, has all the information that's needed as a part of a yard operation, and gives everyone that needs access to the information at any point in time. It doesn't get lost. I spoke about the ROI a moment ago. I want to go on a couple other items here. I mean, at the end of the day, the reason companies invest in technology and probably anything else is an ROI. What's the return on investment? What are we going to get out of it, right? The ROI is found in many, many different ways. I've only got a few of them listed here, but they're important ones. Optimizing gate and dock velocity, getting shipments into the gate quickly, getting them out of the gate quickly, same getting them into the dock door, for loading or unloading, getting them out quickly, right? Minimizing detention to merge charges. There's a number of companies I spoke with even recently that have said, again, detention to merge is extremely expensive, costs us a lot of money, right? Well, when you take a look at these costs, what these costs become, what's interesting is that if they can minimize detention to merge 50, 60, 70%, or whatever that number might be, which is very realistic, that component alone pays for the whole return on investment of the software. Managing yard capacity, right? So you've got your yard. It's got capacity. Do we have too big of a yard? Do we have too small of a yard? Do we have assets placed in the right location? Visibility of where your assets are in the yard and maximizing the utilization. Inventory accuracy of trailers, of containers, and other items, right? What do we have in the yard? Maybe we didn't even know about it. Maximizing the utilization of empty trailers and containers. I was speaking with a company a few months ago that implemented the solution, and after a short amount of time, they realized they had about a dozen trailers at their site. They didn't even remember they had. They weren't used for storage. They weren't being moved any. They were just there. They were stuck. Didn't even remember they had them. Ability to sell them, right? Loss prevention. Trailers you don't know where they're at. Trailers that might have been lost at any point in time or thought they were lost. Again, visibility where they're at. A big one here, spotter and shuttle productivity. This could be the biggest ROI along with detention to merge, right? So a lot of moves are being done every day. What are companies trying to do? Increase their moves per hour, increase their moves per day. It's all kind of KPIs and metrics on this, right? Well, spotter and shuttle productivity, if you can do more moves within a certain amount of time, there's dollars saved there. If you can maybe minimize the number of shuttle trucks or spotter trucks that you have, there's money saved there. Also sustainability, less equipment, less fuel consumption, etc. Effective carrier communication. This is an interesting one as well. How many times do carriers call your site and say, what's the status of my trailers? How many do we have there? Are they ready to be picked up? What's the load, etc. Right? Well, what if you could give carriers access to information through your portal that tell them this information? They don't have to call the number. They don't have to talk to somebody online. They don't have to waste precious time for information that they could find online themselves. Number of things to think about here. There are many more components to the ROI. So what you're missing with auto YMS, the latest innovations, and this is in particular as it relates to yard intelligence and trailer moves, right? Optimize the sequencing, eliminate congestion, making sure trailers are moved in the most efficient and the best order that they should move. Real-time visibility. I've mentioned visibility a number of times. Visibility is a key word. You now have real-time visibility into the status. What are the active moves? What are the pending moves? What are the new moves? What is the progress of the moves that are being made throughout the day? Flexible sequence adjusting, right? Adjusting moves based on assigning dock doors, assigning parking spots, what moves are priority, right? Making sense of the information that you have based on yard moves. Efficiency. Efficiency is a big piece. Efficiency, productivity. Controlling move visibility of the yard trucks, ensuring that one move is visible for a specific dock door at any given time. Optimize, remove bottlenecks, minimize conflicts. Let the system show you the next moves that need to be made. Last but not least, centralized whiteboards. Okay. Go to probably any distribution center, almost all of them anyway, and they have whiteboards everywhere. A lot of the whiteboards are shown for dock doors. What load is there, who's the carrier, what's being loaded, what's being unloaded, what's the time it arrived, etc. What if you could digitalize all this? Digitalize all this with more asset attributes. Digitalize this to where Anybody within the organization who should have access to this information in real time has access to it. A lot more efficient, a lot more productive, a lot more visibility than having something on a whiteboard where things get written on the screen, on the board, wiped off. Provide access to everybody within the organization that should have access to it. The connected ecosystem, enterprise driven. This is an important piece, maybe one of the most important pieces as you think about your enterprise vision, your enterprise configuration for YMS. A connected ecosystem. Most companies have warehouse management software, transportation management software, ERP software, could be other software as well. What's important is that all these software solutions don't operate independently. Connect them all. Think of the data exchange, right? The more you integrate, the more you can automate. Okay, the more you can integrate, the more you can automate. Exchanging data. This is something that a lot of companies think about for a lot of time, and they change their strategy. They think about things that they can do over time because this data exchange is most important. There's a lot of data with warehouse management. There's a lot of data with transportation management. There's a lot of data with yard management software. Think about all of them connecting, talking with two-way communication. Enterprise visibility, so we're giving visibility across the enterprise for everything that's happening within the site. I mentioned this a moment ago at the introduction part of the agenda. My prediction for 2024 will be the year of the yard. Warehouse management companies have that software for many years, right? Transportation management, many years. YMS, some of them even for many years. 2024 will be the year of the yard. This is where the visibility comes to the yard, providing visibility into some of these dark spots, some of these gaps that may be within a yard operation, some of the pieces that might be missing within yard operation, but it's the piece that combines the entire puzzle. One of the things I want to ask is that each of you complete a 20-minute session within the app. What do you think? What do you think about the presentation? What do you think about the session? Last but not least, I want to thank you. Thank you for having me on stage here today. Thank you for participating in attendance for kicking off CSCMP 2023. If you have any questions, we do have a few more moments. I'm happy to answer anything you might have, or please seek me out afterwards. Any questions at this time? Thank you again. Enjoy the show.